January 17th, 2003, an infant child was found in the city of Chesapeake in the Western Branch section. It was identified as a boy, and he was wrapped up in 2 blankets wearing an oversized diaper. As the investigators believed that he should not be referred to as just baby John Doe for the rest of the investigation, he was given the name Baby Daniel. Upon investigation of the scene, we did discover still had the umbilical cord attached, which led us to believe that the birth was very recent. We really don't know too much about this. We don't know how the baby got out there. There was some weather that night. It had snowed. There was no evidence of anybody leaving. We don't have anybody coming forth saying that somebody had a baby that is now unaccounted for. So we are asking help from the public to help us identify who this child may belong to and who may have placed a child there. Somebody did take care of the child. The child was cleaned, wrapped in a blanket, had a diaper on, so somebody cared enough to do that for the baby, didn't just discard him. So somebody took the time to wash him, make arrangements for him to be what they believe warm or taken care of, and put a diaper on him. Baby Daniel was located in the Western Branch Park, in a wooded area between the tennis courts and the road where you drive into the park. He was found by an 11-year-old boy walking through to meet some friends. This boy then notified other people in the park as well as his parents. Then the police were notified and we responded to the scene.
What I remember most about that day was a snow day. We were off of school, and I remember this was back before cell phones, so I went out to find a friend of mine that we were both off of school that day. Got to his house, I saw that he was not home and he had already left, and you could already see the snow had already accumulated to the point where you could see his footsteps. So I saw that he had gone and left the house to an area that we would all hang out when we were kids. We were all 11 years old back then. That was the park next to us. So I left his house and followed his footprints in the snow out to the area that we would always be in. I kind of lost track of his prints, but I picked up some animal tracks instead. And me being curious, I followed those over to the area of the park that had the tennis courts and things like that. And that's when I noticed a pile of snow that looked like there was something blue underneath it. I could see a color coming through the white snow. And that's when I walked over and I started digging through the snow and I found a blanket. I pulled that blanket back, I found another blanket. There seemed to be a bundle of clothes all in that area. And when I pulled back the last blanket is when I found Baby Daniel. And it was by myself. So, of course, I got scared. Ran back the way I came. I got to the part of the neighborhood that the road came through, and I waved down the first car I found, which ended up being someone that lived in the neighborhood. And I brought her, it was a lady that we knew, I brought her out to the area that I'd been in, and she called 911 at that point. Yeah, I recently reached out to Detective Ryder after all these years. The reason being is I've thought about the case over the years. Every year I'm always thinking about it, but more so recently, me and my wife are recently pregnant. We're about to have our first child, and it's been something that has kind of gone hand in hand, and I've been thinking about a lot more lately. Me personally, I'd like to see across the board the value of life go up a little bit. That's something that that shouldn't happen to anybody. No one deserves that, especially that young. So anything I can do to help that not happen again.
The community really rallied around this investigation, I think, just because it is a child. It's innocent as he was to be left behind in the woods, and him not being identified or with no name is what led the investigators and citizens to name him Baby Daniel. I think the citizens just really had a connection with this baby, this infant. There currently is a bench out there at the location near where the child was found. That bench has been engraved and was donated by a local business to mark baby Daniel's location. The baby's buried in Meadowbrook Cemetery in the city of Suffolk. The grave marker was donated by the cemetery, and it has his name, Baby Daniel, and the date he was located. The difficult part is to think that this child would have been 16 years old today without the ability to have friends, grow up, or have a job. So we don't know if it's going to be a young mother who got rid of a child out of fear of telling her parents she was pregnant, or possibly an older lady who had a child who got pregnant but didn't want any more children. So somewhere in there is hopefully our answer.